Oh shit. What's going on, guys? Dale7402 back with another episode of Ringside Republic. We are going to be going over the Payback pay-per-view. You guys are going to have to bear with me. My daughter's asleep in the next room, so I'm going to try to keep it down as much as possible. But I'm just in a really good mood about the beating that we got to see Braun Strowman, or the beating that we got to see Braun Strowman dish out to Roman Reigns tonight. It was fucking great. I can't believe that WWE actually did right by Braun Strowman and gave him the win over Roman Reigns tonight. I can't believe it. Oh, it feels so good. Superman punch! Superman punch! Yeah! Yeah! Break your fucking ribs with the stairs, motherfucker. Watch you spit up blood. I fucking love it. Guys, honestly, tonight's show, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. I did a poll on Twitter, and let me see what it's up to here. I did a poll on Twitter about what you guys thought about the show. And as of right now, 82% says it was awful. So, honestly, guys, going by what WWE had to work with, I think it turned out pretty good, to be honest. It wasn't anything special, but considering the beating that we got to see Roman Reigns take tonight, I'm going to go ahead and give this pay-per-view a 7 out of 10, guys. So let's get right into it and go over it here real quick. The kickoff show, Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. We got to see those two teams go at it yet again. And you guys know me. If I'm not interested in it, I'm not going to talk about it very long. Enzo and Cass got the win over Gallows and Anderson. Finn Balor was on Miz TV with The Miz, and said something pretty interesting. Miz asked him what his plans were, what he's going to do next, and Finn said, "I'm going to get my title back." So, obviously, Finn Balor has plans on getting his title back. I would say more than likely we're going to be seeing a feud with, well, judging by tonight, a feud with him and The Miz. But, you know, Bray Wyatt has also been teasing a feud with Finn Balor, so we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. Miz TV ended the way it always does, with The Miz getting his ass kicked. Finn Balor gave him a sling blade and then a drop kick in the corner, and that was the end of the segment. I was very disappointed that Finn Balor didn't get a match on the show tonight. I think that he definitely deserves it, and I was looking forward to seeing him tear it up with somebody. But who knows? Maybe we'll get a build for him, and he can have a decent match at the next pay-per-view. You guys, you'll have to excuse my camera. I noticed that the lighting keeps changing, so just bear with me on that. Alright, the show kicks off with Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. You know, guys, there was a lot of things that happened on this pay-per-view tonight that really shocked me. I mean, there was things on this pay-per-view that should have been cut and dry. I mean, Jericho's leaving, you know, and that's a fact. And now I'm hearing that May the 1st, he's gone. And there was reports today that Chris Jericho's last appearance for a long time would be tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, and WWE gives him the championship, or the United States Championship. So I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. I get the feeling like WWE watches all these podcasts and they keep up with the news and the rumors that we report, and they just want to do the opposite, just to kind of fuck over the independent wrestling podcasters. So it may sound like a conspiracy theory, but I truly believe that Vince McMahon is keeping very close tabs on the wrestling community and the YouTubers and the podcasters, and I think he takes any opportunity that he can to prove them wrong. Jericho and Owens had a decent match tonight. It wasn't anything to write home about, but it was a decent match. Kevin Owens is never going to give you a bad match, and Jericho got the win. And he is the new United States champion, and we will see him on apparently Tuesday night on SmackDown. In my opinion, I would say more than likely that Kevin Owens will insert his right to a rematch at SmackDown, and we will see more than likely Kevin Owens get his title back at SmackDown on Tuesday. So that's that. Next, we've got Neville and Austin Aries, and this was a really good match. Neville's heel character is just perfect. They had a pretty decent match. Again, I'm not going to go into great detail about these matches that I don't find that interesting. But Austin Aries got the win via disqualification. Austin Aries had Neville in his submission. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember his submission right now. I can't think of it for the life of me. But Austin Aries had Neville in submission. Neville was in the middle of the ring. He couldn't get to the ropes. He didn't want to submit, so he grabbed the referee and flung the referee across the ring and got himself disqualified, which was fucking brilliant. Brilliant fucking heel move for Austin Aries, or for Neville. I loved the way the match ended, and I love this heel character for excuse me, this heel character for Neville. He was getting stale before, and this is exactly what he needed. So it was a cool way for him to retain his title, and for Austin Aries to get the win via disqualification. Next, we've got the Hardys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. This was a really good match. I love the Hardys. It's heartbreaking for me to see Matt Hardy and not see the broken character. The Hardys had a backstage interview before the pay-per-view started, in which Matt Hardy started the promo with his brother as just typical Matt Hardy, but Goldust and R-Truth came out and said that they are going to announce a challenge for the tag team championships, in which at which time Matt dove into the broken character, saying, "I would like to fight those two. It would be brilliant, marvelous." And Matt's still dipping into the broken character, guys. We're gonna see it, or I'm gonna kill myself, one of the two. But Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardys put on a hell of a good match, and Jeff Hardy hit a swanton bomb on top of, I believe it was Sheamus, while he was laying under Matt. So Matt also took some of the punishment on that one, but it got them the win, so they went with that. And while the Hardys were celebrating, somehow in the middle of this ring, Jeff Hardy lost a tooth. I don't know what happened. I think he got kicked in the face by Sheamus, but this motherfucker lost a tooth. Which, I mean, the motherfucker acted like it wasn't no big deal. I mean, he's a savage, so it was fucking awesome. But after the Hardys got their win, they were standing on the ring, or standing on the turnbuckles, and celebrating their victory when Sheamus and Cesaro decided to attack them from behind and turn heel. This was one of the most intriguing things that happened tonight. We got to see Sheamus and Cesaro turn heel, which I think will be a breath of fresh air for their character. I think it will be better in the long run to see them as heels. But they did turn on the Hardys and basically proceeded to beat the living shit out of them. So we've got heel Sheamus and Cesaro now. So hopefully, one can only hope that them being turned on, the Hardys that is, being turned on by competitors that they respected and liked, maybe that'll be enough to push Matt into the broken character. Hopefully WWE acquired the rights to the broken gimmick, and we will get to see that very soon. Very soon. I can't wait to see it, guys. I do not want Sheamus and Cesaro even happened to mention in a backstage interview before the pay-per-view that the Hardys were a nostalgia act, and that pissed me fucking off royally. That the fact that they even said that. But hopefully the fact that they said that will lead WWE to use Matt and Jeff in a way to where they prove everybody wrong about just being a nostalgia act. So, after that, guys, we've got Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. In all honesty, guys, this probably was the match of the night. Austin Aries and Neville was a good match. The Hardys had a good match. But in all honesty, Alexa Bliss and Bayley, more than likely, in my opinion, they had the match of the night tonight. So we got to see Alexa Bliss and Bayley just go at it. Bayley was in her hometown. The crowd was going ape shit for Bayley. And Alexa Bliss played to that crowd like a fucking picture perfect heel, a 5-star heel. She was fucking talking shit and talking smack throughout that whole match, and eventually ended up getting the win. This is another one that nobody expected. I expected, along with several of us in the community, expected Bayley to hang on to that championship at least until SummerSlam. And WWE is getting pretty loose with the title changes, and they let Alexa Bliss capture the Raw Women's Championship tonight, making her the first ever woman in history to capture both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, which is a spot that I thought they had reserved for Charlotte. So that's a nice little feather in the cap for Alexa Bliss. Alright, guys, next we lead into the House of Horrors match with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. This was pretty much the shittiest match of the night, in my opinion. We got to see Randy Orton was in a limo, and he pulled up to a house that looked like it was on Elm Street, and he proceeded to go in and start looking for Bray, and Bray appears behind him, and they fight in the house for a bit. They go back and forth and have a pretty good brawl in the house. It leads into the kitchen, where Bray Wyatt proceeds to drop a refrigerator, turns a refrigerator over on Randy Orton, and leaves the match. Bray Wyatt crawls out of the house coughing and gagging like he's just been in the biggest war he's ever been in. And in all honesty, this was about a 5-minute segment where they were in the house together, maybe 10 minutes. And he went out to the front yard and said, "Follow the buzzards." And then all of a sudden the house went from blue to red. They changed the lighting. This was a knockoff of the fucking Hardy compound, whatever he did, the final deletion. It was a knockoff. Absolutely. They got Matt now, so I guess they think it gives them the right to rip him off. But anyway, basically just a poor man's final deletion. So Bray Wyatt makes his way to Randy Orton's limo and asks the driver to take him to the arena. This is where I would have done things a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead. They had the Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe match in between the fight at the house and the fight at the arena, but I'm going to go ahead and continue to review the whole House of Horrors match. Bray gets into the limo and asks the driver to take him to the arena. Now, what I thought was going to happen was that there was just enough time in between Bray dragging himself out of the house and into the limo for Randy Orton to maybe go out a back door or something like that. I was expecting, and I think it would have been better this way, that Randy Orton was the driver. So after the Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe match, Bray Wyatt's music hits and he walks to the ring, like just basically like it's just any other match. I think it would have been better if all of a sudden they show a backstage clip of the limo pulling up to the arena and Bray Wyatt gets out and starts making his way past the car, and then we see Randy Orton get out of the driver's seat and they start to brawl in the backstage and then lead to the ring. I think would have been a better way to do that instead of what we got. And what we got was Bray Wyatt making his way to the ring, the lights going out, the lights coming on, and Randy Orton's behind him, like he's some sort of mythical creature who can transport himself through space and time. So they continue to fight outside. Randy Orton gives him a DDT off of the ring announcer's table, and they fight and they brawl back and forth quite a bit. And Randy Orton was setting up for the RKO when the Bollywood boys, the Singh brothers, whatever the fuck you want to call them, came out and jumped him. He started getting the best of them, and then we see Jinder Mahal just waylay him in the back of the head with the WWE Championship. So Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers' interference led to Wyatt's victory in the match. I'm glad that they used. I'm glad that they. I want to say I'm glad that they finished the match the way they did, but honestly, the match sucked altogether. I mean, it just really wasn't anything to write home about. Like I said, a poor man's final deletion. So Bray Wyatt got the victory from with a little help from Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood boys. Next, we got Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe. Had a pretty damn good match. They could have done a lot more. I think Seth Rollins is still coming into his own. There's something weird going on with Seth Rollins. I don't know what it is, but he's just not. I don't know, guys. He's just not where I thought he would be by now. He's just not. Samoa Joe's the man, and they had a pretty good match. Samoa Joe worked the knee on Seth Rollins, which we all knew he would. He worked the knee through the whole match, and even did kind of a freaking senton bomb onto his knee. And they showed a clip. WWE showed a clip of when Samoa Joe landed on his knee. You could see Seth Rollins say, "Motherfucker!" And right when he was getting ready to say "fucker," they cut away from the replay. I thought that was pretty funny shit. And but Rollins ended up getting the win here. It was a solid match. The ending was very anticlimactic. Rollins had done a reversal and got Samoa Joe into some sort of fireman's carry into like a freaking makeshift roll up or something, and got the pin. It was a very anticlimactic win for Seth Rollins in this match. It was a good match up until that point, but I do not like the finish of the match. Alright guys, we've made our way to the main event. The main event. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. The monster among men versus the big dog. The big dog came out wearing a brace or some kind of bandaging on his shoulder and his ribs, showing a very beaten and broken Roman Reigns. I almost said Matt Hardy. Roman Reigns wishes that he had the fucking talent and charisma of Matt Hardy in his fucking dreams. Anyway, guys, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. I will say this. Roman Reigns started out this match. He walked right in the ring, got in Braun Strowman's face, and he fucking lit that motherfucker up. I mean, sometimes you can, not sometimes, but most of the time, you can tell that these punches coming from these wrestlers is just bullshit. but fucking Roman Reigns just cocked back and waylaid that motherfucker. I mean, you could tell he gave him a straight right to the jaw. They had a pretty good match. You know, say what you want about Braun Strowman. I hate him as a character. He's boring. He has no charisma. But, I mean, he is talented in the ring. You know, and I hate Roman Reigns. But I will give him that. He's not a bad wrestler as far as that goes. But, you know, not really a whole lot to say about this match. Except for what happened at the ending. They had a so-so match. It wasn't bad. But the ending was the great part. Braun Strowman got the win clean over Roman Reigns, which is something that I never thought that we would get to see tonight. Roman Reigns, WWE pushes this motherfucker like he's a god. Like he is legitimately Superman. And the fact that they let Braun Strowman get a clean win over Roman Reigns tonight gives me hope for the future. So Strowman got the win clean. Strowman getting the win clean wasn't enough for him. Strowman then proceeded to beat the ever-loving fuck out of Roman Reigns with the stairs from the outside. He picked him up and dropped him on the stairs. He fucking picked the stairs up and just fucking hammered his fucking guts with those damn fucking steps, and it was fucking beautiful. I loved every minute of it. He beat the shit out of him with the stairs, and there was one part where they showed a glimpse of Roman. Looked like he'd busted a blood capsule or something in his mouth, and he was spitting up blood, and the referees are screaming for the EMTs and come save Roman, come save Roman, and they never showed up. You know, Roman wanted to walk out on his own. The funny part about this, guys, was the crowd. When Strowman beat the shit out of Roman Reigns, first of all, he got the win clean. Then he proceeded to beat him with the stairs. That crowd in San Jose, California tonight was going ape shit with chants of "Thank you, Strowman. Thank you, Strowman." They were loving it. That just shows you, Vince, how much that we despise this character, Roman Reigns. We hate him. Do you not understand that? The crowd was chanting, "Thank you, Strowman, for destroying your number one babyface in the company." Time to rethink Roman Reigns as a character there, Vince. And what was even funnier is when Roman was trying to make his way out of the ring and he's spitting up blood and he's barely walking, the crowd was chanting, "You deserve it. You deserve it." And damn, it was funny shit. It was fucking awesome. You know, in all honesty, this angle that WWE has worked with Strowman getting the shit beat out of him tonight is a perfect opportunity to take Roman Reigns off of TV for a while. You know, let's just give it a break. Take Roman Reigns off TV for a while, a few months, let him heal, and while doing that, work on his character, work on his look, change his appearance, do something. This motherfucker needs a fresh start. Play up some angle about Roman Reigns being injured and he'll be out of commission for a while. Play up some angle on that and take him off of TV for a while. Give us a break. Rebuild Roman Reigns. Work on his character. And bring him back when hopefully we're ready for it. You know, this is your perfect opportunity to do just a complete makeover on Roman Reigns. His moveset, his look, everything about him. Just redo it. Just give Roman a fresh start if you're wanting to push him so bad. Use this as an angle of like an injury angle where you can take him off television for a while. We need a fucking break from Roman Reigns, for fuck's sake. Anyway, guys, that's the show tonight. That was your review of WWE Payback. I noticed my latest video on the breaking news has actually picked up. The views have picked up quite a bit on it, so I want to thank you guys for that. And it gives me hope. It gives me hope that I can actually turn this into something. Follow me on Twitter at Dale74021. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Let's get some word of mouth going here, guys. Give me a pledge on Patreon. Show your support that way. Patreon.com/Dale7402. And we will see you Monday night with your Raw review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as I did. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one.